All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Yes, the brothers here from Great Millstone, Atlanta. February 2020 recap. Going to go through the major events, some semi-minor events, which really, nothing is minor in these times nowadays. A lot of prophecies is kicking off, but Scripture says, "Be not ignorant of a small thing or a great." And as we all are familiar with, this coronavirus is running rampant. That's all the talk in the media. That's really the only thing that matter. One of the main things that matter because it's prophecy. All this other little entertainment and just party and bullshit that bread and circus spirit. That's out the window, man. And it ultimately should be out the window for brothers, of course. Because we live in those times. Right around the time of the Passover, we seeing the plagues hit, just like during the time of Egypt, and we're gonna jump straight into the different events, major events that's taking place throughout the different coasts of the world, the United States, South America, Africa, the Middle East, Russia, the Asiatic lands, the different continents. So without further ado.
God. If I could just say real quick too, the bishop just posted in our group chat that the first corona death in the United States just happened this morning. So this thing is taking off, man. And meanwhile, the elites, and these top, CEOs and stuff, they basically, they leaving these people, unaware of what's actually going on.
Yeah, because which brother's gonna go into? It's been a lot of CEOs that just resigning. One of the CEOs of Walt Disney resigned, and there's no which a couple years back, it wasn't too long back. You had a lady in the CDC. I think she was the top dog, but she resigned also. And they didn't. I think it was a bullshit excuse. It didn't sound right. I remember going into that story, but she just resigned all of a sudden. And when I read the story, it was like, nah, that don't really sound like the reason because they have to be politically correct. A lot of these individuals figure out stuff. They get extremely deep in their research, and they understand projection, and they want to voice out. They might want to tell a person or two. They might want to give certain statements and things of that nature. Or a lot of them are just scared and they want to protect their family. So, they'll resign and they'll get out the face of the people because at the end of the day, when these different plagues and things hit, the citizens are going to blame the government officials. They're going to blame the government officials. They're going to blame the different boards and the different functions and the different bodies of the government because the people depend on the government. You know what I'm saying? And the government always feeds them lies, such as Trump speaking about how this coronavirus isn't a big thing when we know it's a big thing, man.
Yeah.
That one death is going to turn into multiple deaths. Just there was another video that came out which speaks about Harvard, saying that 40% to 70% of the world might be infected. Now, do we know that that's a fact or not? No, we just these are analysts and these are experts in their craft, that are studying this virus, aggressively. This is what they get paid to do is study. They're virologists, they study the extremities and the length of time these things might take place. And I'm just through the spirit, or we're just, starting out with the apostles on down. We just give you the information that's already been put out and go into the spiritual trajectory and really go into the prophecy. At the end of the day, we just go into the prophecies because the scriptures already said these things were to take place. So we just linking and showing, hey, the words of the Most High are living, breathing, and being functioning out, onto this day.
That's right.
So you got it.
All right, Con. I'm gonna go into this article first. It says the title of the article is Ohio health officials have asked 175 travelers to self-quarantine to stop spread of potential COVID-19 coronavirus.
So yeah, Ohio's under attack basically. You know, and with those quarantines, it's gonna start to be more willing, and then it's gonna turn into more forceful because a lot of people aren't gonna want to keep themselves housed and quarantined with others. You could watch that on the movie Quarantine when that virus, or it might have been a pathogen, it might have been a bacteria strain. I forget the exact origin of the plague, but when that plague took place within it was like a that big ass building, where people were dwelling in. Um, one person infected two infected four.
Yeah.
Four infected eight, eight 16. Next thing you know, the whole building is infected, and that's how quick these different diseases take place. And it could be contact, it could be airborne, and you have individuals that's fully secured. They might not even have had direct contact, but they get infected, by these different diseases.
Yeah.
You know,
And if I could say too, they don't they don't have a date on when they'll be able to so called get a cure for this disease, man, this the coronavirus. You know, so with that being said, they push out these numbers, try to make the people feel safe. And meanwhile, behind closed doors, it's a scramble. Try to get this thing fixed, so to speak, man. Like the brother was saying before, this coronavirus is spreading like literally like a wildfire, man.
Hell yeah.
And they can't put it out.
And it's gonna keep going.
So like, did you want me to read some in that article, or you just want me to skip to another?
Well, yeah, you could just skip this. There's so much stuff going on. It really, the whole ins and outs of it is the main headlines is the point, because like you said, when you're dealing with these different diseases and these outbreaks, they just hit all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. The people are quarantined. We don't know the exact time span when. But a lot of these individuals, and it's a lot of it's a couple of videos popping up of individuals claiming they're sick, even up to government officials. I mean, claiming they're clean in these hazardous environments, and then next thing you know, they show flu-like symptoms, excessive sweating, coughing, and things of that nature. And then they start to become cases. You had this one guy who was talking to the news, and in the middle of the interview, the people just grabbed him up and threw him back in, vaulted him back in. Like, nah, he's sick as hell.
Yeah. And you had the other guy who they quarantined for 14 days for symptoms of coronavirus, and he said they tested him twice. It came back negative. But during the Fox interview, he was still coughing like he could barely even talk. And then he had got some water. He had his little girl sitting on his lap, and he just got a water bottle and drunk it, man. So these people have so much belief, in America or wherever their government is, to where they actually think that they can find a cure, for these diseases, man. Like we were speaking, the mad cow disease, the bird flu, all these swine flu, all these diseases are still present, man.
Oh hell yeah, SARS, these different diseases, and they vault them in the CDC. They vault them in these different buildings, so to speak. And study them. They study the ins and out. They try to learn the production and the mutation and the infection rate, which they study, and they learn a lot of those things. But still, they can't crack the code of it. It's just like a Rubik's cube,
Yeah.
You just turn it, figuring out this, trying to figure out this aspect. They always under that microscope, so to speak, trying to learn this thing. And billions of dollars are being funded through the government for that specific occupation, and these individuals still haven't figured it out, man. So the government that you trust in and rely on, which a lot of people that was in Wuhan, China at the time, you can see that they loved that place, man. They trusted in the government, but when shit hit the fan, SHTF, what happened? They started treating those people like foreigners, man. Like they were basically infected dogs. you know, which really there were, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you have to make a rational decisions. You're not just gonna keep infected people walking around, but at the end of the day, you know, a lot of people were speaking about it was still more heinous things going on, and they wasn't really doing to the most of their capabilities what they possibly could do. Then you start to see doctors and individuals that were speaking out and voicing facts. You know, we know them to be facts because they started to die after it. You know, it wasn't even an opinion, but it was it was hella videos coming out. I think it was 3 top guys. You know, and they were speaking out against the you know, speaking in the tragedies that happened. You know, and you got the videos of it where one individual was recording the police at his front door. You know, so-called notable guys in the society. You know, being you know, ousted out of the society, whether they because they just popped up missing. No, it hasn't been confirmed. Which one of them? I think one guy was confirmed dead. You know, the individual that first spoke about the coronavirus, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he was a confirmed case of death, but the other 2 just went missing.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, so you know, it's truly going down, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, everything else in these times truly really doesn't even matter like that. You know, just talking about all this bullshit. The most valuable things you have to keep your head on. You have to keep your head in these prophecies, which that's extremely valuable in the time. You got to keep your head in in the knowledge, the stock market, which we're gonna go into that, politics, health, you know, just building in the wisdom of Yahweh Shemal Rashah, you know, and keep so that your frame of mind can be geared towards what's going on, man.
That's right.
You know, because Jake still is in that mirthful spirit, man.
Yeah.
Even during the time I think it was Argentina, when it was a big famine. I think it was a couple years ago. What did they say? Venezuela, when it was bad in Venezuela and people were eating the dogs out of people's backyards and things of that nature, and they were scrambling for food. They set up certain events to take place to keep them distracted, giving them bread and circus. So they kept the entertainment rolling to keep the people's minds off of what truly what was going on. Keep their head out of what the news, which is truly you know, shows the status of the world, and the status of the world is very low. It's in a toxic condition. You could keep going on. Or if you had something.
I just bring out a quick precept. This Revelation 22 and verse 7 says, "Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of this prophecy of the prophecy of this book."
Yeah, and there's people that's constantly speaking now about this is the end of the world, man. I was on the job last night. You know, you got a couple of Jakes that watch the news also, so we, you know, like Corona teaming. Basically just rapping about it. Like I said, it's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
You know, so they just, you know, speaking about what they see. Hey, you know, did you hear about this? That's just how we do. You know, through the spirit. What you was talking about, that start networking. Hey, you heard about this case? You heard about that case? Then they come and bring you information.
Yeah.
But it was like, man, one of them said, "Yo, we in the last days, man. It's like everything that the Bible speaks about plagues and things of that nature. You know, it's showing its face today." And it was like, man, same dude, like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, man. But I didn't even I didn't put emphasis on it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we already know what time it is.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't gotta get a 2 cents. We just really just go into the things of the Bible taking place in reality and letting Jake put the pieces together. You know, through the spirit. You know, and I was speaking about the 100,000 ducks that is deployed in Pakistan.
Oh yeah.
To fight the locusts. And I had spoke on that, and I'm like, you know, I just threw that out there because it's like, come on, the locusts during this time. You know, I didn't say it, but come on, everybody is familiar with the locusts actually hitting Egypt. Then it's coronavirus, and that's what you know, basically, like the scripture says, stirring Jake mind up. You know, you got to stir Jake mind up through the spirit, and that's not just going on where I'm located. I just speaking from my perspective, from what I see, you know, with my 2 eyes and what I perceive. You know, but it's multiple environments where brothers are located. They're hearing these things. The world is billions of people, you know, and a lot of people are clutching their hands on that Bible now, man.
That's right.
You know, they're trying to get themselves in good graces with the Most High because they can feel the tension. They can feel the vibration of death in the air.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, the stench of death is arising, man. And that's why Scripture speak about Yahweh Shai coming back. Because when the Lord say coming back, what? The blood is going to be up to the horse's bridle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be. So we in a time of death. You got to get really settled in your mind with death.
Yeah.
Hey, if the coronavirus hit Georgia, or whatever local state you at, and people start dying around you, are you going to be aggressively affected by it? You have to have that mindset. Hey, we prophesied about these things coming. Now it's here.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, casualties of war. It don't matter who it is. It's all through the hand of the Lord.
Yeah.
It was men even in Israel that was dying from certain plagues that the Lord put out. But those men kept going. They knew what time it was. They couldn't put the blame on the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
They just knew it was the time of death. And we know that these things to be faithful and true. And we're seeing these things that are taking place right now.
Yeah.
And one other thing I just wanted to say, not to be too long-winded, but Apostle Tahar and the apostles had a in transit a couple months back, maybe like 9 months plus back, and they spoke about disease outbreak, and brothers shouldn't be doing all this far traveling. I remember they said that stuck to me heavy, and I'm a Lord willing to find the video. It was Elder Sakaran, it was Apostle Tahar, and I remember Apostle Ramlab in that video. Maybe through the Spirit, I try to look it up and repost it, chop that up and repost it, saying maybe put the date on the front. But the apostle said that, and you see what happened to a lot of these different travelers that's traveling all over the place that's starting to get infected, and that was way before the coronavirus outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
So the apostles' words are even through the Spirit showing to be faithful and true, man.
That's right.
But it's you can keep going.
This is another article from blacklistednews.com, and the title of the article is The White House Unveils $2.5 billion emergency coronavirus plan.
Yeah, so the White House unveils $2.5 billion in emergency coronavirus plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're looking to find some type of way to conquer this thing, man.
Yeah.
And that's in the United, and it's billions of dollars. Let's not talk about other countries. That's the United States alone. One country.
Mm-hmm.
Every single country right now is taking major chunks out of their reserves.
Yeah.
And they're putting it towards this virus, and they're still not stopping it. This
stopping
thing is not a joke. This thing is not something to be shunned or looked down, looked away from.
Mm-hmm.
You have the top guys, medical virologists, people that make over $100,000 a year, some people that's in different boards that's making $250,000. People that's the CEOs, top guys, that have no way of stopping this. That's really throwing the towel. Some of them throwing the towel in.
Yeah, they stepping down.
Yeah, they stepping down. So what does that tell you? The scriptures speak about how the power shall be in fear. And this is through the Spirit, this is a light thing, man.
God.
This is the light thing with the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
If the Lord wants to fast forward this thing and amplify these different diseases, you could and change that QE19 to Q what they call
COVID-19.
COVID-19. This just in, the coronavirus just hyper stimulated, and the more 13 have. The Lord could put numbers out there, but you know what it would do? That would send the world an extreme shock.
Yeah.
The Lord, he's a mathematician.
Mm-hmm.
He's a war. It's all about war.
Mm-hmm.
Well, war is strategy. Strategy takes time, steps, piece by piece.
Right.
Like when you play chess, sometimes even a master chess player, you can shoot straight, to hit the, cut out the queen or whatnot, and you can get straight to the king, and you can trump the board in, But, a lot of them like building that board up, slithering their way through the pawns, with the bishops, the rooks, the knights.
Mm-hmm.
You clean that queen up, now you got more leverage to move around and knock the head off that king.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by what? Those forces, man. You're surrounded by the king gets surrounded by the king and his men, and that's what Yahweh Shai doing. That's why he said, "Behold, I come quickly." Because the Lord God keeps his eyes constantly on this place. He keeps surveillance.
Yeah.
Is some more on that?
That was
Is some more on that Revelations too?
No, that was it. On
okay.
Revelation. This is another article.
Yeah, that's fine.
We had from blacklistednews.com.
Matter of fact, before you get that, can you go to 2nd Ezra 9:1?
Okay. Yeah, up there. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. It says, Second Ezra 9 verse 1 says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, if I could say,
You got.
Starting with with the apostles and the elders, man, we've been measuring the time that we're in, man. Paying attention to these blood moons and the wolf moons, blue moons, and we have realized that through the spirit, that we're at the end, man.
Yeah, as well as these daily prognosticators. The scripture says, "Let thy daily prognosticators, I think, stand in those days." And Isaiah the 47th chapter, speaks about the mistress of witchcraft, and which I think was it me and you, or was another brother who went into the doomsday clock, man.
It was me and you.
We went into the doomsday clock and all the things that take place. Which Lord willing, we could maybe bring that back up.
Yeah.
As well as the debt clock, because even all these different stock market plummets, which you spoke about, which we're gonna get that. We're gonna get the February 2020 list. And it speaks about all these the stock market dropping dramatically. And when you watch guys like Gerald Celente, you watch AMTV, you watch these different media outlets, they basically not speaking well about this coronavirus. The end of the AmericanDream.com, they speak it, because if I'm not mistaken, even gold itself is dropped a little bit. Speak about the different oil barrel, the barrels of oil. Gerald Celente goes into the barrels of oil and the whole nine. And he's showing that really, these the governments are having an extremely hard time treating and actually handling business, because really the world is on froze right now, especially in the Asiatic lands. If you see the level of commerce in China, it's at an all-time low. People aren't interacting the same. You don't want to have sexual interactions with people you don't know in those times. So that whole spiritual pleasure frenzy, is done. And you even had a certain which a lot of those Chinese are really bugged out too. Eating bats and things of that nature. And the Lord is plaguing their asses for being wicked anyways. But I was gonna say it was something pertaining to China. But you could go ahead, keep on that.
Okay, come. This is verse 2. It says, Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So the Lord is coming back to visit the world which he created. And it speaks in 2nd Ezra the 4th chapter how basically the world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. Which our Lord will not probably get it. And in those times, we would know the end, because the word infirmities goes into sicknesses. And sicknesses right now is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And it's not going to slow down, It spoke about how, markets are feeling the effects similar to 2008. The 2008 housing market crisis, which when that 2008 crisis was felt, everybody that was in the market, if you was a big guy, if you was a little guy, if you was an investor, everybody felt that the strike, and only few re-arose from that shockwave that took place. You had to have perseverance, to even make it through that 2008 housing, the housing strike, And like I said, and a lot of people are scared to reinvest their money now, especially in these times. That's why, which I went into a lesson on that, how bunkers, people that actually, buying bunkers, that's the new spirit. That's a new wave. I think, did we go into that together, or that might have been just me? But yeah, so people are moving outside of New York. They said these are the highest level of people that's leaving these different cities in a while. So the top rich, that live in these different condos, paying $3-4 grand a night, they're putting their money towards underground bunkers and things of that nature. Cattle ranches in rural areas that have minimal access to people, where they can live off of solar power. They can store up rainwater. They have wells. They have chickens. They have pretty much their own economics in the outskirts with less communication. That type of spirit and that type of lifestyle is the vibration everybody wants to go back to. You know, well, really these top elites that actually know, because the scriptures speak about how the children of this world are wiser than the children of light.
Yeah.
You have to understand, like just like with animals, birds are gonna flock to where it's more water or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Where resources are. Animals flock. That's why if it's a famine, you watch like on BBC. If it's something that's taking place, what happens? They move, man. So Esau seeing that things are dying in the regions that he's at, so they're moving out.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you that in Isaiah the 13th chapter too, how the Arabians shall not pitch tent there. But you can keep going.
This is verse 3. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee.
Yeah, so one thing the Lord said is earthquakes, and the other one he said was what?
The uproars of the people.
Yeah, so in the political market or in the political realm, for February 2020, currently under uproars of the people, you have Afghan peace process, Algerian protests, Bolivian protests, the Brexit, Catalan protests, Chilean protests, European migrant crisis. They got a whole tight timeline for that. With Lord will now, look into that. Hong Kong protests, Indian Citizenship Amendment Act protests, Iranian protests, Iraqi protests, Kashmir lockdown, Lebanese protests, Libyan peace process, Maltese protests, Northeast Delhi riots, Persian Gulf crisis, Qatar diplomatic crisis. And the list goes on and on. You got the Yellow Vest movements. You got the Xinjiang, if I'm saying that correctly, concentration camps. And you got the Venezuelan president's crisis. Turkish purges.
That's uproars of the people.
That's uproars of the people, man. So is that not uproars of the people, or is that uproars of the people? Which one does that lean towards? Uproars of the people. The people are roaring up.
Yeah.
And that's the vibration of seeing bullshit and you calling a spade a spade. They're not just being, just accepting the ass whooping that is being given unto them. That's why the scriptures tells you in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, it's a time come where they're not going to regard kings nor priests.
Yeah.
It
says, verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
And we in the end. It's manifest.
That's right.
It's manifest with the end. Like a woman. When you see a woman going through the different cycles of when she's having a child, you see her body gradually develops. And you see after a certain amount of months, she has to go through the contractions, the labor pains. You see how she just the physiology of it, of her just changes because she's getting adapted to drop something new. And like, of course, when the water breaks, that's the time of the deliverance. And we see these different signs and symptoms in the contractions of this place. Tightening up, loosening up. Because you'll see something big.
Pains.
Yeah, that's a labor pain. You see something big happen, then it ease off. You be like, oh, man, we thought that was it, man.
Yeah.
Then you see something, then you see it tighten up. Then it loosens up again. And you're like, oh, shit, man. It feel like a pump fake.
Yeah, God.
But then it's getting tighter. Then you're like, oh, shit, we here. We here. It loosen up again. But that's the contractions, Just like it's the Lord is constricting the world. The Lord, and it speaks about Judah going to have their hands around the neck of the enemies. That was one of the blessings of Judah, And Yahweh Shai, he's the ultimate Judite. So he's really, strangling this place piece by piece.
Piece by piece, man.
Punishing the world and really bringing us into way of remembrance. Some more?
That was it on that.
That was it? Okay, so we could read a little bit on that list. And,
this is this is from Wikipedia. and it's basically current events from February 2020. Uh, this is on the 1st of February. Of course, we're not going to read, everything because there's so much that's happening nowadays. Like we were speaking about, that you really can't keep up, with every single thing that's happening throughout the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it says,
yeah, this article has 29 days, so
yeah.
It's gonna be it's a pretty long article, and brothers should just also look it up. Also, February 2020, we could really just hit, like you said, the main points. As we know, the coronavirus outbreak.
In Wuhan. This is on the February 1st. Apple Inc. announces it will close all of its stores and offices in China until February 9th due to the outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Trump peace plan. The Palestinian National Authority cuts all ties with the United States and Israel, including those relating to security, after rejecting a peace plan presented by President Donald DJ Trump.
Mm.
So this is just on the 1st of February. Let's see.
Yeah, then you have the big situations going on in Turkey and Syria.
Iraqi protests.
Turkish bombings overnight kills 48 Syrian government troops and 14 members of the Lebanese Hezbollah. So it's a lot of things going on through these different regions of the world. And we just spoke about the ones before, as far as the 10,000 ducks. Of course, the coronavirus traveling to these different states and regions, and you have these different schools getting shut down in these different countries. You had the Dow Jones Industrial Average drops 800 points. Global stock markets lost $6 trillion in value over the last 6 days, and this is all throughout the month. This thing is graduating, man. Coronavirus in Italy. It's hitting all different regions, man.
Oh, you can't forget about these mass shootings, and these mass killings that's going on. And nowadays, it's always just groups of people getting put to death, man. And it's going to continue to increase. To increase because it's all of the Lord. The Lord said, famine and death and pestilence is going to increase roughly paraphrasing, man.
Yeah, and we're first-hand witnesses of these things taking place. Saudi suspends the entry, so you can't go to Saudi Arabia as an immigrant. As a pilgrim. They're gonna kick you out. They're not even gonna allow you to get in because they're trying to retain their their government.
Right.
I was saying the thing is too, if the Jews are the Jews, what the hell are they doing?
Exactly.
If they're the chosen people of God and they claim to be the sons of the power, shouldn't they be the first ones on top of this coronavirus thing? You ain't been hearing shit from them, man.
No, go out their doors.
And it'll be peace on earth. You go ahead.
This one said a baby was diagnosed 30 hours after the birth and with the coronavirus in Wuhan.
Yeah, so it's a lot that's going on. And really, what y'all would probably read this last thing, brothers. Like I said, brothers could go into the rest of it. And the House just voted 41-40 to pass the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act.
Oh yeah.
And that's a damn shame in itself. They just and that shows you this is the spirit of the old serpent, the devil. Now he's trying to appease, basically the Most High. We're really trying to appease the people and try to make it seem like, he's, for the people when really he's against the people. Why did it take so long? And what encouraged them to actually pass a legislation like that in today's time when lynching isn't even a big, or we don't see it as a big thing.
Yeah.
And now in today's time, why didn't they pass it back then rather than now? Why so much filibustering, all right? Because that's the devil. That's why he's known as the old serpent, the devil, and Satan, man.
That's right.
So, and it's a slew of other things, if brothers, of course, jump into it through the spirit, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Dub honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.
Shalom.